Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. All right, let's change the topic here. Dre stories. I'm gonna tell you the LeBron to Miami story. Now, this is another one I know I told, but I'll tell it again. So this is around. No, I know exactly when this happened. This was so LeBron ended up coming to LeBron signed with the Miami Heat in the summer of 2010. I remember that because the people are always talking about that. LeBron's gonna be a free agent. D-Wade's a free agent. Who else? Amari Stoudemire is a free agent. Chris Bosh a free agent. All these free agents in the summer of 2010. So in 2009, this is the beginning of the season, 2009. So it's like September 09, October. The Miami Heat had preseason games. So I went to the preseason game. Now in the preseason, there's not a lot of fans at the game. We had really good seats. We was like 20 rows up watching the game. And some salesperson, because the chick I was with, she knew a salesperson. She knew somebody who knew somebody. One of the people who sell tickets for the Miami Heat knew that we were there. He comes over to our seats. And his whole gig is selling season ticket packages. I found out very quickly. He sits down, starts talking to me, find out I play overseas. And I'm playing overseas at this time, but I'm home at that point. He starts talking to me, asking about getting season tickets for the Heat. Before he even asked, here's what he did. He said, yo, I got some better seats for y'all. Come with me. So we are like 20, 15, maybe 20 rows up in our current seat. He takes us to some different seats, and we're like 5 rows up. Like we're like 5 rows from the floor, right behind the scorer's table. So he takes us to these better seats because he's just buttering us up so he can sell these tickets. And his whole thing is he's trying to sell these season ticket packages. He's like, yo, you ever thought about, you like coming to Heat games, right? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, where do you live? I live like at that time, the building that I lived in at the time, I could see the Miami Heat arena from my balcony. That's how close I live to the Miami Heat arena. This is like I walked. When I went to Heat games, I would walk. Nowadays, I can still walk to Heat games a little bit further because I was north of the arena, then now I'm south of the arena, but I can still walk there. Anyway, he found out that I was close to it. He knew I played overseas. He knew I was a basketball player and a basketball fan, and he already gave us these better seats for this preseason game. He starts talking about season ticket packages, and I'm like, and he didn't even get around to how much season ticket packages cost because he's like, what you think about getting a package to have tickets to all the games? And I said to him, I'm like, yo, the Miami Heat is okay, but this team is not really that exciting to watch because at this time they got Dwayne Wade, and that's pretty much it. That's no disrespect to other players on the team, but I'm not coming to a game to watch anybody on that team but Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade was the attraction of the Miami Heat at that time. And I'm like, yo, this team is not that exciting to watch aside from Dwayne Wade. And then he starts talking about the season ticket packages and like how you could pay it in installments. Like you ain't got to pay the whole thing up front. You could pay this much now, then pay this much later, then this much then. And I'm like, yo, this team is not worth that kind of money. So then this guy has another bullet in the chamber. He says, well, look, he's like, yo, I understand. He didn't argue with me. He said, I understand that. I get you what you're saying, Dre. But look, the summer of 2010 is coming up next year. And you heard what they've been saying, Dre. You heard what they're saying on ESPN. Pat Riley is saving up money so the Miami Heat can sign 2 big-time free agents in addition to keeping Dwayne Wade. And I said, yeah, I heard about that. And then he says, well, look, imagine if LeBron James and another star player like Chris Bosh or Amari Stoudemire or whoever, imagine if they all come and sign in Miami. Imagine how much those season tickets will be worth if you own them and they end up getting LeBron and whoever and add them to the team next year. So even though they're not that exciting this year, imagine the kind of investment and the return on investment you're going to get next year. And I looked at the dude and I'm like, dude, I know what you're trying to do. I know you're a salesperson. You work for the Miami Heat. I respect your grind. I respect your pitch. I respect your hustle. But let's keep it real. All right, LeBron James is not coming to the fucking Miami Heat. This is what I said. LeBron James is not coming to sign with the Heat. LeBron is on the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers are about to go to the NBA Finals. They probably going to win the championship this year. And that year, this is the 2009-2010 season. The year before that, actually, I think it was that year. It was either that year or the year before. The Cavs won like 66 games with LeBron, and I think Mo Williams was their second best player. And no disrespect to Mo Williams, but Mo Williams ain't no superstar. They won like 66 games. They had the best record in the league. They were dominant. And LeBron was the fucking man. I mean, he's still the man now, but he was the man then. And I'm like, why would LeBron leave that team to come play for the Heat? The Heat ain't even that good. The Cavs are better than the Heat. Why is he going to come play for the Heat? That makes no sense whatsoever. And I'm just shooting him down. I'm like, oh, I'm like, yeah, I get everything you're saying. You're right that the Heat are going to get a free agent. Somebody's going to come to Miami. Miami's a beautiful place, but it ain't going to be LeBron James. LeBron James ain't coming to Miami Heat. And he tries, and I don't buy. Then it goes on. Long story short, we all know what happened. LeBron James signs with the Miami Heat. And it was this photographer who I knew at that time. The next year, after LeBron comes to Miami, he had season tickets to the Miami Heat. And he would always tell me, every time I seen him, because we did a couple photo shoots, he would tell me, like, man, I don't go to any Miami Heat games. All I do is sell my tickets on Craigslist every time there's a game. And he was like, man, I made such a return on my season tickets because he owned the season tickets. All he would do was just sell his tickets every single game for the Miami Heat. So that was the mistake that I made, thinking that it was impossible for LeBron James to come to the Miami Heat. He ends up coming, and there's a lot of money that I missed out on because of my lack of belief. I mean, I understood LeBron was going to be a free agent, but I did not believe he would ever come to Miami, and we all know how that story ended. So that is the LeBron James to the Miami Heat story, where I failed to buy season tickets and probably cost myself tens of thousands of dollars in seller's fees that I would have got, or sales period that I would have got had I bought those tickets. So that's that story. So anybody have a question, not a question, but a suggestion for any type of story or any area of life I could tell a story from, you let me know, and we'll see. Maybe I'll come up with it and tell it. So that's that. Work on your game. Dre all day.